I think a key dynamic in this election is certainly the pro versus anti-Netanyahu. Certainly, there are voters, obviously on the left and the center, who are sick of Netanyahu. That's for sure. There are some on the right who like his policies but think that it's time for a change. And so there's a pretty fierce battle that's going on over right-wing voters. Will they stay with Likud? Will they, how many of them will defect to the many other right-wing parties that are options out there?
What do you see happening?
The most likely thing that's going to happen, according to the polls, is that there will be another right-wing government led by Netanyahu. This can happen in a few different ways. One possibility is that Likud will win the plurality of votes more than any other party, and it will be its prerogative, Netanyahu's prerogative, that is, to form the government. Another possibility is certainly that blue and white under Benny Gantz could get the plurality. But then the question is, will he have enough mandates in the center-left to form a coalition? And that looks problematic for Gantz. It looks like there will probably be something like 63 or 64 seats for the right-wing bloc. And so that augurs well for Netanyahu in terms of forming another government.
There are a lot of reports and opinions out there saying that this is a referendum on Netanyahu. Is it a referendum?
To some extent it is. I mean, there's no question after 10 years straight at this point of being prime minister that Bibi Netanyahu has come to define in so many ways the Israeli political landscape. The thing I think that's, one of the things I think that's unfortunate about this election cycle is that there's been such little debate over substantial issues, the substance, the key issues that face the Israeli electorate. Obviously, the question of peace between Israelis and Palestinians, whether there will be a two-state solution, that issue has been, unfortunately, very far from the center of the debate in this election. A lot of what we've seen have been, in many cases, frankly, racist campaign ads, certainly on the right end of the political spectrum. But even, when Benny Gantz, the first campaign ad that he had after Blue and White came onto the scene was an ad touting the number of Palestinians that he killed in Gaza during the 2014 Gaza war. So, we've seen a lot of really unfortunate campaign commercials, dynamics within this campaign, and not a lot of debate over substantive issues. We've also seen a lot of incitement against Palestinian citizens of Israel, which is extremely unfortunate and very demoralizing to many within that population.
Have Netanyahu's indictments had any impact at all?
Surprisingly little. After Attorney General Avichai Mandelblit announced the indictments, which were or the intentions for indictments, which were forecast for quite a long time, there was very little impact that we saw in terms of polling for Likud. So as much as there may have been some voters who intended to vote for Likud who changed their mind, it seems like there were at least as many who became even more resolute that they were going to vote for Netanyahu because they believe what Netanyahu's been saying all along, that he's basically been persecuted by the deep state, by the media, by leftists. And so some have gone along with a motto that Netanyahu adopted, Dafka Netanyahu, which basically translates to in spite of it all, or even to spite them, Netanyahu.